Hello, Fruit Force. This is Captain Fruit reporting for duty, and boy, oh boy, just when you think an employee maybe learned to shut up, Tom King steps in it again. So let's take a moment and talk about it. All right, so we got this tweet just from today from good old Tom King. Because Tom King truly hates anybody that doesn't agree with him, and when they do, he wants to cancel you. Because he is a firm believer in cancel culture. Stop anybody that doesn't believe like him. Tell you, how is that in any way tolerance from these self-imposed people claiming they are nothing but tolerant? Because really the truth is, yes, let's think about it, they are the most intolerant people you'll ever see. So here we go with this tweet. Today, DC put out an alternate cover. Yeah, not even the main cover, an alternate cover, by the way, to Rorschach by Jae Lee, who has also done covers for ComicsGate, a hate group. DC does not consult creators on alternative covers. I reached out to them to express my deep disappointment. As far as I'm concerned, this is the cover to Rorschach #1. Now let's look at this. Once again, he's mad because of Jae Lee put this cover out. He has an issue. Just so you know, this is Jae Lee here. I wonder if he has something against people of his ilk here. Maybe because he has an Eisner Award, Korean American. Maybe he has something against them. Maybe that's why. Maybe he's got something against Korean Americans. Is that it? Maybe? Just maybe? Well, before anybody jumps on me, oh, you can't do that. That's just speculation. Well, wait a minute here. Tom King does speculation here too, right? DC does not consult creators on this because of ComicsGate. Done covers for ComicsGate, a hate group. ComicsGate, a hate group. Well, how is that any different than me saying Tom King has something against Korean Americans? There's no proof there. Jae Lee has done a lot of good art, interesting art here. You can check out his own webpage and things like that. He's been very successful. He's had a successful career, I would assume. I would say, because he's done work for Marvel, DC, Image, Dynamite. He's done that. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe Tom King doesn't like it that he crosses over and does things in all avenues that he wants to do. But once again, DC does not consult creators on alternative covers. Right, that's not your job, Tom King. They don't have to consult you. You are a hired gun. You are paid to do a job. You are not in charge of DC. Know your role, buddy. Know your role. Shut your mouth. You're allowed to have an opinion, absolutely. But once again, you are working for this company, and you're working for this company. You're probably best to shut up about that company. Or if you do things that you don't agree with here, you talk about it in private to the company. You don't try to publicly shame your own company. This is fake outrage because you have a tiff, something up your rear end. DC does not consult creators. No kidding, it's not your frickin' job. And then I've reached out to express to them my deep disappointment. Well, guess what, Tom King? We're disappointed too in you. Anything you've touched lately has sucked. Maybe DC ought to just get rid of you. It'll be for the best. How was your sales for Batman? Oh, yeah. You didn't help Batman very much, did you? You took it from being the #1 comic week in and week out selling very, very well to dropping down significantly. But you think you're that freaking important that DC needs to consult you with every choice they make. I don't care if this is your #1 Rorschach cover for you, because the rest of the world doesn't necessarily agree with you. Now let's look at how people have been responding to Tom King and his potentially anti-Korean rant here, right? Because once again, how do we know, right? Well, John Malin speaks up this. And I'm not going to read every word that he put, but I can understand his aggravation. F you and your cancel culture. One day this industry and nation will stand up against this crap, and you'll look like the true a-holes you are. You should get on your knees and kiss Jae Lee's feet. A comics god bless your trash. You're absolutely right. Another person, a real hate group is the one Tom belongs to. The obvious to anyone with humanity. And that's true. Anybody you want, as long as you disagree with them, Tom King, you want to take their livelihood away. I think people need to think about this a little bit. Just because a disagreement of who this person has worked for, Tom King thinks he should not get work anymore. It's now his decision who DC employs, in his opinion, and he should have a choice on who employs other people based on a political or whatever view disagreement. Bravo, Tom King. You are a crybaby of the highest order. These people, this person here says, the people who see hate everywhere usually hateful. And he or she is absolutely right. People who see the world through a prism of race are usually racist. It's an interesting phenomenon. And I agree 100%. People that look for racism tend to be racists. Otherwise, why are you looking so hard to create division? SJWs ignore the reduced pock of gay people, invisible people are racist. Yep, and I responded to, of course, too. In other words, you think you get to decide what DC does, and when you don't get your way, you cry about it to try to get them canceled. Other people calling him a piece of trash. Straight white male attacking Jae Lee as a member of a hate group doesn't seem to be supporting diversity. I agree with Umbrella there. Boy, how is that look for Jae Lee in minorities? Evidently, he hates minorities, right? Tom, I can't express my exceeding disappointment in you. Your CV gives you express knowledge of what a hate group is. Your service declares that you are a defender of the Constitution that allows for freedom to associate. Go back to being a man, please. Here's a real pledge that King signed to appease cancel culture's whisper network. Which, yeah, a lot of people think maybe it's please don't look into my past, because what has he done? Why has he got to put up such a barrier, such a wall? I think deep down there's some issues here. This is shameful thing you're doing. History will judge you for it. I'm going to tell you, overall, he's not getting ratioed very well here, is he, for his beliefs? This person, we are not a hate group. Support ComicsGate, okay. You know, I'm not seeing a whole lot of support here for Tom King. Let's see what this. Clearly, Tom King wants Ethan Van Sciver dead or destitute, and this is his way to accomplish that goal. Smear him with easily disproven lies about a fictitious hate group in hopes his business opportunities dry up. Despicable. Your actions are the actions of a hate group, Tom. I'm just reading with a little fun and pizzazz, if you will. It's amazing here. And you know what? Tom King deserves this. And he's going to now, what he'll do is he's going to probably start a block bot or whatever, and he's going to complain he's being harassed. Let's be honest, that's what these people do. They say something stupid like this to try to get, you ready for this, their cancel culture karma points, their capital, if you will. I watched a video on that recently, cancel culture capital. So now he thinks he's got some capital, and if you could shut down somebody else too, you could take their capital. So Tom King is going hard in the paint to get that capital to try to kiss all the rear he can for the SJWs that don't even buy his books in the first place. Tom King, you win the idiot tweet of the day, in my opinion. You've done nothing but prove that you're not really that good of a person. I don't care for you. I don't like what you've done. But that's my thoughts, not yours. What are your thoughts on Tom King? Do you think he's on the right here? Do you think he's right for calling out Jae Lee? Or do you think he's got something to prove, something to gain? What is he going to get from this? Why and what does he plan on spending this capital that he's accrued over his crude, crass tweets? But that's my opinions, not more. Once again, let me know down below. Please be sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And until next time, keep it frugal.